day of the week. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Chasing That Paper, coming off a hell of a show yesterday. 5-0! We did it. A much-needed 5-0 sweep there yesterday after the rough week last week, so we'll try to bring that winning energy right back in to today. We're covering it all the NBA playoff games, 2 NHL playoff games, a couple spots we like for Major League Baseball as well. Then in the second half of the show, Aaron Rodgers, of course, we know is over in the AFC right now. I'm going to give you my rankings of all of these starting quarterbacks in the AFC. Let's bring in my co-host for today. Out there in New York City, he ordered coffee this morning. He had coffee delivered to his house. On a Wednesday morning, he's getting coffee delivered to his house. Ian, did you get anything with the coffee?
Yeah, it wasn't just coffee. It was coffee and a breakfast sandwich and a croissant and a Gatorade.
You got some disposable income where you're ordering breakfast delivered to your house on a Wednesday morning? What is going on here? It's like a waste of money. Take 15 minutes and make your own breakfast.
I don't have time to spend 15 minutes making breakfast, Joe. I'm a busy man.
I'm busier than you. Make a nice smoothie every morning. Protein,
I don't know about that.
fruit, some oats in there. Get all your nutrients. Get you fired up for today, okay? I'm fired up for the show, so let's get right into it here. Ian, 9 total picks, so let's get right into that action. We're going to start things off in the NBA. The Cleveland Cavaliers trying to stay alive, but the Knicks in town here. Player prop for me on this one. I'm going to take Donovan Mitchell to have over 10.5 rebounds and assists. So check out Mitchell throughout the series here. He's been absolutely filling it up here. He's averaging 12.3 rebounds and assists through the first 4 games in the series. Now in game 4, a bit of a bummer. Took the over on this prop as well. He had 8 at halftime, but just 1 in the second half. Just an epic meltdown there. But he has been filling the stat sheet versus the Knicks all season long. He also averaged 12.3 rebounds and assists in 4 regular season games against New York. And he's been seeing a lot of time on the court. Actually, he's averaging the 3rd most minutes per game in the playoffs. So obviously, all that time on the court will only lead to more opportunities for rebounds and assists. Give me Mitchell over 10.5 rebounds and assists. All right, over to the ice. What do we got, Ian?
First up, we only have 2 NHL games tonight, so I got a bet for each of them. First of all, we're going to look at the Bruins and the Panthers, and I'm going to take the puck line. Not on the Bruins, though. I'll take Panthers plus 1.5 at minus 120 tonight. Believe it or not, despite the series being 3-1, the Panthers have had better 5-on-5 stats so far this series. You look at Corsi percentage, 50.66%. Expected goals percentage, 51.72%. They're also averaging 1.98 more high-danger scoring chances per 60 minutes of 5-on-5 play. And they're also out-shooting the Bruins overall. 34.25 shots on net per 60 minutes compared to 33 for the Bruins. So despite the Bruins seemingly dominating this series, it's been a lot closer than what the final scores might indicate. But I don't trust Florida to completely win. I'm not ballsy enough to take their money line tonight because the Bruins have started to do what they did all season, and that's score on a high percentage of their shots on net, and they're getting fantastic goaltending from Linus Ullmark the last 2 games. But based on the analytics, I think it's going to be a little bit of a close game. Let's hope it's at least just a 1-score game. Hey, if this goes to overtime, we're laughing. So I'll take Panthers plus 1.5 at minus 120 in Game 5 tonight.
All right, next up, back to the hardwood, where we go to Memphis. The Lakers trying to close things out versus the Grizzlies. Another player prop for me. I'm going to take Anthony Davis to have over 22.5 points. I think this is a soft number. Kind of insulting here, too. Some real recency bias cooked into this one after an awful performance in Game 4. The guy is out here playing around 5 more minutes per game in the playoffs compared to his regular season average, yet this number is lower than his regular season average of 25.9 points per game. I do expect a bounce back. After a bad game, he scored a pathetic 12 points in Game 4. Not very assertive out there at all. Now, we saw in Game 2, he scored a pathetic 13 points, but he followed that up with a 31-point performance. Good matchup for him here. Memphis getting absolutely killed in the paint in the series, allowing the most points in the paint in the playoffs. So far, he should be able to feast on some high percentage looks in close. Give me Davis over 22.5 points. All right, Ian, we go back to the ice. What do you got next?
Next up, it is the other NHL game on tonight. Is the Kraken and the Avalanche. I'm going to bet on the total in this one. I'll go over 5.5 at minus 120 in this spot as well. I'm shocked to see that the total is set at 5.5 because these two teams have performed well offensively so far this series. In fact, they rank second and fourth amongst the 16 playoff teams in the postseason in expected goals for, with the Kraken averaging 3.08 per game and the Avalanche averaging 2.96. Those are 5-on-5 numbers. Kraken also averaging 14.81 high danger scoring chances per 60 minutes. And at the start of the series, maybe I'd take an under, and game one, I actually did bet the under in this series. And one of the reasons why was because the Kraken's defense finished the season off playing extremely well, but that hasn't been the case so far this series. They've given Colorado plenty of offensive scoring opportunities, and also Philip Grubauer has played well in 3 of the 4 games so far, but I continue to not trust him to perform well in between the pipes for the Kraken. I think we're going to see plenty of goals tonight. I'm comfortable taking the over 5.5 between the Crackheads and the Avalanche.
Crackheads. Okay, we go back to the NBA. A couple spreads up next, and we're going to start things off with the biggest underdog here of the night. Where are you getting this number from? Give me the Miami Heat plus 11.5. Looking to close things out here in Milwaukee. So, like I said, where are you getting this number from? This spread is absolutely ridiculous. What are we doing here? This isn't the Pistons or Rockets rolling into town. It's a team that has all the momentum in the world. I went to Game 7 of these finals last year, by the way. For our friend Matt Moore over at the Action Network, no team down 3-1 has been a double-digit favorite in a game since 2003. Now, digging into that a little bit more, in Milwaukee, back in Game 1, they were only favored by 9. Now a 2.5-point adjustment? Why? Is Tyler Hero worth 2.5 points to the spread? I don't know about that. It's strange. Back on February 24th, a game between these teams where everyone was healthy in Milwaukee, the Bucks were only favored by 5.5. Now 11.5 in this one. So what else do I like about Miami? Well, they've been shooting it better than anyone else in the playoffs, and they've been great in the fourth quarter. A plus 9.8 point margin in the fourth in the series, easily the best in the playoffs. That was on full display last time out. So obviously that fourth quarter play combined with the monster spread here, just a great cushion. And the Bucks, I don't know, they might have blown it here. They played with their food and gave Miami life and momentum. I think they took Miami too lightly after that Game 2 win. Could Giannis have played in Game 3? Probably. I mean, in Game 4, he looked great to me. Triple-double in 38 minutes. Bucks might have completely blown it here. I don't know if the Heat can win this one outright, but this is a great cushion, plus 11.5. All right, Ian, over to the Diamond. Get us started with some Major League Baseball.
I got a couple underdogs in Major League Baseball tonight, starting off with the Houston Astros. Houston Astros plus 115 against the Tampa Bay Rays. I think we're going to see some regression for the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's all relax and stop. I saw they were already minus 110 to win the AL East. This is ridiculous. The Tampa Bay has had by far the easiest schedule to start off the MLB season. And we're going to see some regression. They're a good team, but they're not as good as what their 20-4 record indicates. And tonight, the Astros, I think they can get after Calvin Faucher? He sports a 5.91 ERA, giving up 7 earned runs and 10.2 innings pitched so far this season, along with a 1.500 whip. And I also think we can trust the Astros bullpen in this one. Everyone's licking their lips about the Tampa Bay Rays bullpen, but the Astros bullpen just as good. 3.04 bullpen ERA heading into tonight. It is time to fade the Rays. Give me the Astros, plus 115.
All right, back to the NBA, covering all 4 games. A game with the tightest spread the most anticipated game, probably. The Warriors and the Kings. I'm going to take the home dog here. It's a small little dog. Give me the Kings plus 1.5. So if you haven't been paying attention, the Golden State Warriors absolutely suck on the road. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. They go from a plus 8-point margin at home to minus 4.4 on the road. The defense really falls off on the road. For the season, second in opponent EFG shooting percentage at home, compared to 27th on the road. Their last 18 road games have seen them go 3-15 against the spread. They're 6-16 against the spread as a road favorite this season. So what do I like about the Kings? Well, the Kings are finding more ways to score. They come out ahead of Golden State. Points off turnovers, second chance points, fast break points, and points in the paint. I do think the three-point shooting will come around here. They're shooting at just 30% series here so far. Now, they were right around 37% during the regular season, and no one will mistake the Warriors for having great perimeter defense. And fade the Fox injury narrative. Yeah, I'll steal that expression from Ian. We all know about the finger injury. Yeah, it's been accounted for in the spread here. Give me the Kings plus 1.5. All right, Ian, your final pick. Then I have one more to bring us home. What are we looking at?
My biggest underdog bet of the night here, the Marlins plus 135 against the Atlanta Braves. Let's get into it. This is a perfect time of the MLB season, I think, to bet on some pitchers who are underperforming and bet against some pitchers who are overperforming. And I think this matchup is a perfect example of that. Sandy Alcantara is apparently how you pronounce it, according to producer Tito. Alcantara has not been good so far this season. 5.47 ERA, but I think we're going to see some positive regression from the Cy Young winner here. And a sign of that positive regression is his FIP hasn't been nearly as bad as his ERA. 3.49 whip, or FIP, I should say. That is a sign of good things to come. Meanwhile, Bryce Elder has been completely lights out for the Atlanta Braves this season. 1.14 ERA, but he does have a 2.52 FIP. I think we're going to see some regression from him. And also, it does help this bet out that the Braves struggle against righties so far this season. They have a 905 OPS against lefties. That OPS drops all the way down to 741 against righties, and that's, of course, important because Sandy Alcantara is a right-handed pitcher. He throws the baseball with his right arm, if you didn't know, if you can't tell by that picture. So I'll take the Marlins plus 135 tonight.
Sandy is dandy. Indeed. Good luck with that one. And good luck to the Miami Marlins tonight. So a pitcher prop coming up here for me. I like so much. I could have came on the show and gave you guys 12 picks. I splashed a bunch of them over on my Twitter, JTFOZ. A bunch of walk props, a couple of earned runs. But my favorite pitcher prop of the night, Zach Gallen on the mound. His strikeout total, 6.5. Fireable offense. Give me the over on this one, even at minus 125. This is a beautiful number. Odds makers absolutely sleeping on this one. Gallen is in Cy Young form right now. 29 total strikeouts over his last 3 starts. 0 earned runs. Just 8 total base runners allowed in those 3 games. I also took under 2.5 earned runs for Gallen. Great matchup for him in this one against the Royals. Very high strikeout percentage versus right-handed pitching, coming in at 8th versus righties over the last 2 weeks of the season. Give me Gallen over 6.5 strikeouts. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Okay. Coming up soon here, I'm going to go right through my list of the quarterback rankings in the AFC. A bit of a hot topic. People throwing those out there with Aaron Rodgers moving over to the Jets. You know how I feel about that. But before we do that, guys, if you like the show, it's very easy to let us know that you do. Just hit that like button right down there. Appreciate it very much. And while you're at it, make sure you are subscribed to the Vegas Insider YouTube channel. Now, if you're looking to get some bets in tonight, maybe tail some of our bets, maybe fade some of them, the choice quite simply is yours. I recommend getting that action in over at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. We have an exclusive offer just for Vegas Insider users. Sign up with BetMGM. Use that promo code VI bonus match. You will get up to $1,100 of your deposit matched by BetMGM. That's VI bonus match, all one word, no spaces, for a first bet deposit offer of up to $1,100. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older to wager. Offers for new customers only. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Yeah, baby. All right, let's have a little bit of fun here, Ian. A lot of people throwing out quarterback rankings. NFL content heating up once again with the Aaron Rodgers move and, of course, the draft tomorrow. So I'm going to give you my list of how I rank the AFC quarterbacks. It's a bit of a prediction here. So not where I rank them right now, where I'm predicting they will be at the end of the 2023 season. So let's get into it. Tito created a little graphic. We can throw that up and I will rip through, and Ian can provide his reaction. So not much debate here. At number one, going to go with Patrick Mahomes. He's probably in a tier all by himself, to be fair. Super Bowl champion ×2, as talented as anyone who has ever played the position. Then you get into 2 and 3. Maybe a bit of a debate there. I give Burrow the nod over Allen because I do think Allen can be a bit of a wild card at times. So I think Joe Burrow will have a better season here in 2023. Number 4, Herbert. Yeah, he fell off statistically a little bit in his third season, and it didn't end very well at all, did it, in the playoffs? But he had a lot working against him. Injuries to key skill players throughout the season. He was beat to shit himself. Plus, he had an awful offensive coordinator. Now, Kellen Moore comes over from Dallas. This could really elevate his game and get him into the same tier as the guys ahead of him. Number 5, here's where the controversy starts on my list. This is predicting where they will be at the end of the 2023 season. I got Tua at number 5. A lot of people won't agree with this, but I do not care. Stats matter, people. And Tua led the NFL in a ton of stats, including quarterback rating. And everything about this guy got better in the Mike McDaniel offense. Now, we know what his biggest flaw is. It is the injuries. Now, he's not just crossing his fingers and hoping he stays healthy. 2023. He's doing work to prevent those concussions. So I do expect him to be back. And like he was, probably even better. More progress than 2022. A breakout season for Tua. Expect that to continue and for him to stay healthy here in 2023. Then we have Lamar right after Tua. A bit of an asterisk on this one, because we don't even know. Is he going to be playing for Baltimore in game 1? I think we can assume that at this point. But still, lots of question marks. But when he is on the field, he's as dynamic as they come. And he is a winning quarterback. Baltimore wins when he's playing for them. Number 7, Trevor Lawrence. Now, the first half of last season, during his rookie season, people couldn't wait to label this guy as a bust. Now, all of a sudden, a lot of people want to elevate him into that upper tier of quarterbacks. I don't agree with that. Let's see a little bit more. Now that he has a competent head coach, going in the right direction. But let's not forget, he also threw 4 interceptions in that playoff game versus the Chargers. Number 8, Aaron Rodgers. You guys know how I feel about Rodgers to the Jets. I do not think it's going to work out. He's coming off one of his worst seasons ever. Playing in a division, by the way, with 3 of the worst defenses in the NFL. Get to play against them 6 times. About to turn 40 years old. Can we get our expectations in check here? Just a little bit. Number 9, Russell Wilson. We killed him all last season. Deservedly so, too. But he wasn't as much of a disaster down the stretch. He did improve as the season went on a little bit. Just became an impossible situation. He had that buffoon of a head coach. Now with Sean Payton there, I think Payton will do a good job of tailoring the offense around Wilson, play to his strengths. I think we'll get a little bit of a bounce back here from Russell Wilson. I don't think a Pro Bowl quality play will happen. I think that's too much to ask for, but I do think Wilson will be better. It'll be hard to be worse than he was last season. Number 10, going to go with Mac Jones. Yeah, he fell off badly in the sophomore season. He could be falling out of favor with Coach Bill, but come on, Matt Patricia was his offensive coordinator. What was going on in New England last year? There should be a 30 for 30 done on this. Matt Patricia was the offensive coordinator, so we got to give Mac Jones a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Still a young guy here. Number 11, another guy with a New England connection. Jimmy G joins the conference. The Raiders. Some red flags here with Jimmy G. A pretty significant history now of missing a lot of time. Still, though, there's some potential here. He's still only 31 years old. I thought he was older than that for some reason. He's been around forever. Still only 31. Surrounded by some great skill players. But pretty big coaching downgrade, I would say. Going from the 49ers to the Raiders. Plus, like I said, all that missed time, a red flag. Number 12, Deshaun Watson. Now, a lot of people want to give this guy a pass for last season. I'm not one of these people. I think he might be completely shot. He was awful last year. He was worse than Russell Wilson, who he killed all of last season. It's flying under the radar a little bit. People giving this guy a pass. His contract is really going to set this franchise back, and that will really come to light a few months into the season. Number 13, Kenny Pickett of the Steelers. People are really high on this guy. I feel like this guy is getting hyped up way too much. And Steelers fans are in for a rude awakening. I get it that people are excited about how the Steelers finished out the season, but that was all their defense. Kenny Pickett last season, 7 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. An average of 185 passing yards per game. That isn't underwhelming. I don't know what is. Now, I'm not going to kill the guy. It was his rookie season. So there is some promise here. Some improvement should be expected, but you got to keep those expectations in check. Kenny Pickett. And we'll wrap things up here. Ryan Tannehill. Seems like the Titans will be happy to move away from Tannehill, who's become a pretty big disappointment over the past 2 seasons. No one should be shocked if he becomes the backup at any point this season. So obviously not listed here. The Texans and the Colts. Maybe we will have a more clear answer as to who will be their starting quarterback after the draft here on Thursday night. So what do you think, Ian? Anything you strongly disagree with on my list of where these guys will rank at the end of the 2023 season?
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring that list up one more time if you can here, Tito, just so I have a reference here. Justin Herbert, overrated in my opinion. A lot of hype around Justin Herbert, and he's kind of failed to deliver for the most part. Sure, he's going to be good. I think 4 is a little too high for Justin Herbert. I would switch Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. Trevor Lawrence, especially in the second half of last season, looked fantastic. Calvin Ridley should help him out this year. So I like Trevor Lawrence a lot heading into this season. And you, amongst most people, continue to disrespect Jimmy Garoppolo. All this guy has done is perform and get his team either to the Super Bowl or close to the Super Bowl, and you're putting him 11th in the AFC. How dare you? I'd put him above Mac Jones and Russell Wilson. I would put him in at number 9. So, yeah, those are my feelings.
Yeah, I guess with Jimmy, it's all about staying healthy. Now, you might say, Joe, you're being a hypocrite because you have 2 at number 5 on your list. But Garoppolo has like a history of 6 seasons where he's just been beat to shit and missed a lot of time. But like I said, Jimmy Garoppolo is only 31 years old. So who knows? Maybe he does reconnect with Josh McDaniel there, their time in New England. And he's playing with the best receiver he will have ever played with, Devontae Adams. Hunter Renfrow, a pretty good guy to dump the ball off to as well. Now I see Cody Wells weighing in on the chat. No, Matty Ice. I don't know if he's being sarcastic. Matty Ice is a free agent. He hasn't officially retired, has he, Ian?
I thought he did. Am I wrong? No, maybe he didn't. No, he is a free agent. Someone should pick him up. He's still
it's going to be one of these situations. I think you're going to see maybe someone get injured in training camp. One of these situations. I don't know if he'd be happy to just accept a backup role somewheres. And who knows what's going to happen with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson sent out a tweet, a smiling emoji. Can we cut this shit? Again? I don't know what that's in reference to. But okay, yeah. And yeah, we'll get some more answers with the draft here. It'll be very interesting to see what the Texans do here. Are they going to pick a quarterback? It's kind of not looking like that. So we'll see what happens. A few more items to discuss, but first, let me tell you guys a little bit about the Vegas Insider app. It gives you all of the major sports betting odds at your fingertips, along with picks and expert breakdowns. You can shop for the best odds, find props, features, and plenty more with the app. If you want more Vegas Insider content like our shows, videos, and podcasts, you can find it all on the app in the media section. Download the Vegas Insider app on Apple or Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. All right, Ian, it is time for our mental health check-in with you, our resident Toronto Maple Leafs fan. So what a roller coaster of emotions you must be experiencing in this series. The Leafs in a familiar spot, up 3-1 in the series. This has been poison for the Toronto Maple Leafs, up 3-1 in a series, but they're going back home here. And they were down 4-1 in the third period. I was on the wrong end of that, but they come back. That has got to be the best win in your fandom, the history of yourself as a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Is that an exaggeration?
Not only my history of being a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs, but I don't think any team I've cheered for has ever been on the right side of a big comeback. My teams blow leads. I didn't really know how to feel the other night being on the right side of a huge comeback. It was strange. I actually shut the game off at the end of the second period, I'll be honest. I had to record my podcast that night. I was going to wait till after the game. It was 4-1. It was terrible. They were getting outplayed up and down the ice. They were getting outcoached. So I said, screw it. I'll just start recording my podcast a bit early. Finished recording my podcast, looked at the score, expecting to just see, the final score, 4-1, 4-2, 5-1 for the Lightning. And it was 4-4 heading into overtime. So I did turn it on. I did watch overtime, but I completely missed the comeback in the third period. It's crazy. Confidence is high, but if I have a message for Leafs Nation out there, it is to please follow my advice and bet on the Tampa Bay Lightning to win the series at plus 750. We have seen this happen already. They blew a 3-1 series lead to the Canadiens, a much worse team just 2 years ago. Don't be stupid. Buy what I like to call heartbreak insurance. Go! Maybe if the Lightning come back, it's going to hurt, but at least they're going to make some money. Plus 750. And if the Leafs do win, then I'm going to put like $50 on Lightning plus 750. And if the Leafs win the series, I'm willing to pay $50 to watch the Leafs win a playoff series. So I'll be in a win-win situation. So I strongly encourage every Leafs fan watching this to do the exact same.
So favorite minus 155 here for the game tomorrow night. Would you say, is it fair to say this is a must-win game for the Leafs? Because as I often talk about the New York Yankees, when they get in a bad spot in the playoffs, just the weight of the world is on their shoulders. Now, some of that pressure has been taken off a little bit for Toronto because they're up 3-1 in the series. But here's the thing. Everyone expects them to win. They should win. Now, they were favored coming in. They have a 3-1 lead. But momentum can be a funny thing, especially with this team. So is it a must-win game, and how worried are you if they lose tomorrow night?
Oh, I'll be. I'll get very little
right?
sleep tomorrow night. I'll get very little sleep. Yeah, it goes back to Tampa, and let's not forget, they did win both games in Tampa, but they were severely outplayed in the first game, and somehow managed to squeak out an overtime win. And then game two, they were obviously outplayed for 2 periods. Played a great third period, great overtime, but I would not be confident going back to Tampa for game 6. So if we lose Thursday night, it's going 7, and oh boy, that's a recipe for disaster. So tomorrow night's not a must-win, but it's very close to it's as close to a must-win as you'll get for a team that's up 3-1 heading into game 5. So yeah, it's going to be tough. I'm nervous.
Oh no!
I'm nervous. How could you not be nervous? How could you not be?
Okay, let's move on to the NBA. Round 2 starting to take shape. A couple teams closing out their series. The Denver Nuggets and Phoenix Suns set to face off here in round 2. We put up a poll on the Vegas Insider Twitter feed. Make sure you're following Vegas Insider on Twitter. Who's winning the upcoming second round series between the Suns and Nuggets? Now, the Suns are favored here, minus 140. despite the fact that the Nuggets have home court advantage. And I got to tell you guys, I'm predicting the Nuggets to win this series, especially with that home court advantage. Now, the Suns, they beat up on the Clippers 5 games. Congratulations. You needed to play your 2 best players into the ground. Look at the minutes played by Booker and Durant in that series. That team has no depth whatsoever. Now people are sleeping on the Nuggets. The Nuggets won the Western Conference. Well, some people are sleeping on the Nuggets here. So plus 120 there for the Nuggets. That's who I will be on. Now, it's kind of funny. We take a look at the biggest surprise so far in the NBA playoffs is out of obviously this Heat-Bucks series. The Giannis injury has obviously contributed to that. The Bucks are plus 155 or plus 115 to win that series. So you can take the Heat right now at minus 140. They got to win one of the next 3 games. One of those games will be at home too. I think that's pretty good on the Miami Heat. As you guys know, I've been fading the Miami Heat all season long. And of course, I'm betting on them tonight. Watch them lose by 30 points. But hey, the Miami Heat kind of being disrespected there a little bit, in my opinion. Minus 140. Okay, guys, it is now time for today's Handicapper Heat Check presented by VegasInsider.com, your home for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. Today's featured handicapper is Brian Bittler, who is scorching the diamond, hitting 7 straight MLB winners. Bill Marzano is on a 7-0 NBA playoff win streak, and Zach Cimini is 10-2 in his last 12 MLB picks. Visit VegasInsider.com/picks for early MLB action and tonight's playoff hot plays. That's your handicapper heat check. Stay hot, bettors. All right, that about does it for today, guys. Winding right down. So, Ian, what do you have going on out there that Vegas Insider and Chasing That Paper viewers can check out?
Yes, I did a full mock draft on this week's episode of the Bacon Bets podcast, the entire first round of the draft. Later today, I'm interviewing Brian Branch, the safety from Alabama, Christian Gonzalez, the corner from Oregon, and Jordan Addison, the receiver from USC. So those will be out later today over on the Fansided or Stacking the Box YouTube channel. I don't know which one they're being uploaded to be completely honest. Tomorrow night, I'll be doing a live stream during the first round of the NFL draft. Joe, you were kind enough to join me for about 5 to 10 minutes sometime within the first few picks. Going to have plenty of guests. Peter Dewey, Reed Wallach will be on with me throughout as well. Should be a fun time. Going to be a marathon. I think last year, the first round was 4 hours. So I'm going to be on I got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it. Join us for that as well. That'll be on Stacking the Box YouTube channel.
Okay, now you're back with us on Friday's show. So this doesn't mean you can just mail it in on Friday's show just because you're working.
I'll be mailing it in
tonight.
I'll be mailing it in. Don't you worry.
Here, okay, so yeah, we we'll look forward to Ian rejoining us on Friday. Tomorrow, Kevin Rogers will be stopping in to help me cover the NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball. We'll get him to weigh in on the draft with some last-second thoughts for that. But that does it for today. In and out in about 30 minutes here. Thank you, Ian, very much for joining us. Thank you to producer Tito for producing the show today. Thank you, dear viewer, for checking us out. Again, best of luck with your bets tonight, unless, of course, you are fading us. And as always, keep chasing that paper.